Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I don't know about you, but where I live, we've been going through quite an intense heat wave. So today I thought it would be fun to share with you what I think are 10 basics to build your perfect handmade summer wardrobe. So we're going to be talking about sewing patterns that are ideal for the hot weather, but are also solid basics for your wardrobe that can be worn throughout multiple seasons. If you have viewed some of my other videos here on YouTube, or if you follow me over on Instagram, you may have seen some of these garments before. I'm definitely the type of person to repeat outfits and to repeat sewing projects, to repeat patterns that work really well for me. So you may have seen some of these before, but hopefully there will be some new to you patterns that will inspire your summer sewing. So I decided to choose 10 patterns that work really well as basics in my wardrobe. These are pieces that are great on their own. They're all kind of interchangeable and work well together. And they're also pieces that I'm able to wear throughout multiple seasons through layering and different outfit combinations. So when I say 10 basic sewing patterns to build your perfect handmade summer wardrobe, I mean just that. The first pattern that I want to share with you is the Unfettered Patterns bike shorts. Now, this is actually the first pattern that I have tried from Unfettered Patterns, which is a website that provides quite a few, honestly, free patterns. All of the patterns are free as PDF downloads that you print and tape together and cut out at home. I will say that the instructions are kind of sparse. So if you're a complete beginner, keep that in mind. If you're using Unfettered Patterns, the instructions are mostly just text saying, step by step what to do. However, a lot of these garments are really basic, simple sewing projects. The bike shorts being one of those. This is an incredibly quick sewing project. There's no side seam, so the only seam that you're sewing is the center front and back, if that makes sense, and the inseam. So yeah, a very easy to sew project, very good for beginners, I would say. And another thing that I love about this pattern is that it takes up so little fabric. I double checked, and the complete size range, which goes from an extra small to an extra large, all of them use less than 1 yard of fabric. If you have, I think it was a 59-inch fabric, it uses, I think, 20 inches of that. So a really quick project, a really great use of any knit fabric scraps that you may have. So for my first version, I just wanted to test the pattern out. I wanted to see how it fit. I'd never made an unfettered pattern before, so I just used some leftover, I think it was 95% cotton, 5% spandex, kind of like t-shirting fabric. So a little bit thinner than what I would typically desire in a bike short or a legging, but I made it up really quickly. It took no time at all, and I think it's a really good fit based upon the body measurements chart. However, personal preference, I wanted to increase the rise quite a bit so that it was up around like belly button level. I just find that with a bike short that's kind of snug, you want it to be providing support, and yeah, I just wanted a little bit of higher rise. So for my second version, I added 2 inches to the rise, and I chose a much thicker, stretchier, and more supportive fabric for my second version. I think bike shorts are really great for the summertime because if you're doing any sort of athletic activity, whether it's just going for a walk or playing outside with your kids or doing things like yoga and Pilates, I think a bike short is a really great option in the summer because it will keep you cool and supported, but also it stays out of the way. And I think they're really fun to style with oversized t-shirts or button-down shirts, even a sweatshirt or a sweater. I think that they're very practical, useful, but I also think they're really stylish and can be styled in a way where you would feel really comfortable incorporating them into an outfit outside of the home as well. The second pattern that I want to talk about today goes really well with the first, and that is for a t-shirt pattern. Now, this is the Madeline tee by Madswick Studios over on Instagram, and I actually was in the testing group for this pattern. So as of the time that you're seeing this video, I think it is not yet released, but very soon to be released. And I was really excited to test and sew up this pattern because I absolutely love the proportions of the shirt and the silhouette. It has kind of like a 90s inspired boxier oversized fit, and the sleeves are a little bit longer than typical. Also, a detail that I really like about it is that the hem of the shirt as well as of the sleeves is quite generous, and so it looks more elevated, it looks more substantial. And yeah, I've sewn quite a few t-shirt patterns. I know that there are a lot out there to choose from. There are a lot that are free to download, and I don't know, maybe it would be interesting to make a video doing like a rating all of the t-shirt patterns that I've made before, because I've made quite a few. Of course, there are, as I said, free options available, but I'm really excited about this one. I have already made 3 versions, so I will be sure to insert some footage of me wearing them as well. And yeah, I really like the proportions of this one. And I think when you're dealing with basics, such as a t-shirt, the details are really important that make one t-shirt pattern stand out and be the one that you reach for more often than others. And so I think that this pattern has elevated details. The sewing experience was great. The instructions were great. So I would definitely watch out for this one, very soon to be released. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see a video of me rating all of the t-shirt patterns that I have made before, kind of a compare, contrast the t-shirt patterns. I think that might be fun. Okay, the third pattern that I want to include on my basics for summer list is one that I have talked about many times before, and I will continue to talk about because I love it so much. And that is the Frye Pants, which is a pattern by Emily Lightly. These are intended to be made out of linen fabric, but would work really well in a cotton or a lightweight chambray denim or a lightweight canvas, anything like that. And I have made several versions. I will be sure to share some footage of me wearing the different versions that I have made. But it's such a versatile pattern. It has a tapered leg view, a wide leg view, there's a shorts view, and there's an optional drawstring at the waistband. I love the construction of the pockets. They aren't those floppy inseam side pockets that never stay put. They're secured into the waistband. I absolutely love this pattern, and I was so excited when Emily was talking about making a linen pants pattern because I just love her style, and I knew that her version of linen pants would be perfection, and they truly are. So very highly rate that pattern. A very inclusive size range, great instructions, lovely sewing experience, and I get so much wear out of all of my versions of the Frye Pants. I think we're at number 4 now. So again, if you've watched any of my other videos, this probably won't be a surprise to you, but I have to include it because it's one of the first sewing patterns that I made where I felt that I could make really good quality garments that I was excited about. And it's also a free pattern, and that is the fabricstore.com Noah shirt. This is a classic button-up shirt with a collar stand and cuffs and the button placket. It has a really lovely curved hem. All of the classic details of a button-up shirt in a free pattern. It's just so fantastic. And when I started sewing, I made a lot of fabric store patterns because they are free and you can very quickly print them out at home. and sew them up with whatever spare fabric that you have on hand to learn how to sew. I think that Fabric Store is a great resource. I will say that you have to kind of follow a blog post style of the sewing pattern instructions. So maybe there's a blog post about the button placket, and then you have to go to a different blog post about the collar construction. So that's something to keep in mind, but a wonderful, wonderful pattern, great details, great instructions. Like I said, you just kind of have to hop around a little bit to get the full instructions. But I have made so many versions of the Noah shirt. I have made the full long sleeves. I've also cropped the sleeves and made several short sleeve button up versions. I love this pattern so much. I recommend it to people all the time, whether or not they're beginners or experienced sewists. It's a really solid classic shirt pattern. And I think if we're talking about basics that help you to build up a summer wardrobe, a button-up shirt is essential. The short sleeve and the long sleeve versions, I think, get so much use in the summertime. They can be worn with everything that I've shared so far, the t-shirt, the bike shorts, the Frye Pants and shorts. A button-up shirt is just so essential, and it will make all of the other items in your wardrobe much more versatile. Okay, so for number 5, I wanted to include a maxi skirt pattern. I think that personally in the summertime, sometimes I want to have coverage from the sun, but I still want to be really cool and comfortable. And I think that a maxi length skirt is a really great option for that because, as I said, you get a little bit of protection from the sun, but there's a lot of airflow and it's loose and breezy. And also it just looks really elevated, especially for going out in the evening in the summer. I love a maxi or a midi length skirt. So the one that I chose to include today is actually a zero waist pattern. This is the zero waist triangle skirt by Brigitte Helmerson. Now this sewing pattern is included in her book of zero waist sewing patterns. So you do have to purchase the book. However, there are so many fantastic patterns in the book, and I have made several, and I plan to make more of them. They're all really solid, basic patterns that she then gives a lot of hacks and a lot of ways that you can customize the patterns to make a huge variety of garments, and they're all zero waste, which is fantastic. So if you haven't yet, I would definitely check out the zero waste patterns by Brigitte Helmerson, and the triangle skirt is the Longline Skirt that I've chosen to include. Of course, there are many other options for pattern choice, but what I love about this one is that the construction is so well thought out, and the construction of the pockets is really clean. Everything is just so clearly designed and so cleanly finished, and it's an easy to sew but professionally finished product. So I have this version in a natural linen, and I would love to make another version. It's just such a comfortable skirt, both for more formal times and more casual times, and being a long line, breezy linen skirt, it gets a ton of wear in the summer. It's great paired with the shirt patterns that I've mentioned. It's a fantastic skirt pattern that you should consider if you're looking for a long line skirt this summer. In a similar vein to the zero waist skirt, I could not make a video about patterns for summer without talking about the Nanny Eero linen dress, linen tank pattern. This is another one that's from a book. It's the Nanny Eero Sewing Studio book. And again, you do have to get the book. However, there are a huge variety of patterns in this one book, and I've made quite a few of them and had really good success with all of the ones that I have tried. I want to mention the linen tank dress because I've made so many versions of it. I'm wearing one right now that I've just cropped into a tank length. I have tunic length ones. I have more crop tanks for high-waisted pants and things. And I also have several versions of the full length tank dress, and it's actually reversible. So the pattern comes with two different necklines. One is more of a scoop, like what I have here, and one is a little bit more of a V. And you can make it with either one of those as the front, or both scoop or both V. So yeah, I think it has a great, simple, but elevated silhouette. And everything about it. The strap width is perfect. The cut of it has just enough ease and drape. It's really beautiful. I highly recommend this pattern. Again, in the summertime, it's hot. You want things to be loose and breezy, and a linen dress or a linen tank top is just perfect for this time of year. Also, these linen tanks that I've made several versions of are so great to layer with all of the other garments that I've mentioned so far. So it's sort of like a mini capsule that can be created with these 10 patterns. I absolutely love this tank. Of course, there are other tank top patterns. I think I can think of, some that have bust darts and things like that for a little bit more shaping. But if you're just looking for a loose, relaxed, comfortable tank, I think this is a great one. I think we're at number 6 now. So I've shared a lot of loose, flowy linen, very comfortable patterns, and that's totally fitting for the summertime. However, sometimes you want a pair of jeans. And personally, if I'm wearing jeans when it's really hot out, I want them to be a loose fit. I want them to be a wider leg. I want to have plenty of ease at the waist and hip. I don't want something that's super tight because it's hot and it's uncomfortable. And so I have made plenty of the Anna Allen Helene jeans, which are definitely fitted at the waist and hip, and I love that pattern. However, I definitely find that in the summertime, I gravitate more towards wearing looser denim. So the pattern that I want to share with you is the Merchant and Mills Heroin jeans. These are intended to have a good amount of ease. If you look at the measurements on the chart for like the body measurement to the finished garment measurement, there's quite a bit of ease built in, which is great because, as I said, you want to have a little bit of play. You don't want it to be skin tight when it's hot out. And they're also a longer, wider leg with a generous turn up at the bottom. So again, nothing is tight on your skin. They're very comfortable. The instructions are really great. So I made a full-length pair of the jeans using this lovely ecru denim. I think it was a 13.5 ounce denim, but it's so, so soft. And I love these jeans for the summer, both because they're a lighter tone. And I find that I wear a lot of like darker, deeper indigos and black jeans in the colder months. And so in the summer, it's nice to have a lighter weight, lighter colored denim. And I actually had enough of the fabric to also make a pair of shorts. So I didn't make any alterations to the shape of the leg. I just simply cropped it where I wanted it to hit on my leg, straight across. And they turned out fantastic. And I love to have a longer line denim short option in the summer. It's easy to wear a shorter short, but I think it's a little bit more elevated to have a longer leg, and it's fun to have options. I definitely have both in my wardrobe, but this feels a little bit more elevated. And I really love both the shorts and the pants that I've made using the heroin jeans pattern. Okay, for number 8, I wanted to include one jacket pattern. I know that depending on where you live, the summer can be way too hot for a jacket, but I think for a lot of the world, sometimes it's cooler in the evening. There's a lot of fluctuation in week to week in the summer, and sometimes you do need a jacket. So I wanted to include the Modern Sewing Company Jamie jacket. I made my version in a 12 ounce denim, and I just love this jacket so much. It's meant to be a men's jacket pattern or a unisex pattern, and I made the size large. So I'll show you how it fits. It's definitely a generous oversized fit on me, and that's exactly what I wanted for a denim jacket. I want a loose, comfortable, easy to throw on, easy to layer up jacket, and this one is just so cool. There are so many neat design details and the finishes are all super clean. I love how the back yoke seam goes into the two-piece sleeve seam, and then that goes into this and then that sleeve seam goes into the slit at the cuff, and it's all like one continuous line of double top stitching. I think that looks really cool. I love that the front pockets are like a two-way patch pocket, so you really have 4 pockets on the front. It's just a great design. It works really well for men and women, and in the summertime I think it's nice to have a lightweight jacket option. So I also wanted to include a pattern that would give another option for a top that wasn't a t-shirt or a tank top or even the button-up shirt. Depending on fabrication, of course, those can be dressed up, but sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of a nicer top option to wear either with the skirt or the jeans. And so I wanted to include the Common Stitch Pipit Vest. This is a really cool pattern because it's actually intended to be reversible. All of the seams are fully enclosed, and so you can wear it with the inside or the outside. Either way, it looks like the right side. So there are 2 different options. One is a shorter, sort of cropped waistcoat, and one is a much longer line waistcoat. And I've made the shorter version twice. I love these so much. They're so comfortable. Both of mine are made in a linen viscose blend. And so there's a little bit of drape to the fabric, but also a little bit more wrinkle resistance to a full linen. And I think for a nicer, when I say nicer, I mean for a little bit more of a more formal, more elevated look, I think that the linen blend works really well. So yeah, these are great worn on their own. They're great layered over a tank top or a t-shirt as well. Even the tank dress, you could layer one of these over. And it's just nice to have a nice top option for summer. So I would definitely check out the Pipit Vest pattern. Okay, and number 10, last but not least, I wanted to include a jumpsuit option. Sometimes I think in the summertime, you reach for the t-shirt dress or the tank dress because it's easy and breezy and you don't have to think about it. And I think that a jumpsuit can accomplish the same thing. So the pattern that I want to mention is the Elizabeth Suzanne Clyde jumpsuit. And this has a really cool silhouette where the front and back and side are all sort of narrow panels. And then when they're sewn together, it's a great opportunity to utilize contrasting top stitching, but it also gives these really generous and deep side pockets that are made into that side panel. And again, I'll show you some images of me wearing it, but it's a very comfortable, relaxed fit. And with the deeper pockets and sort of the lower, it's not a complete drop crotch, but there's a lot of ease built in. So it's really easy to get in and out of. It doesn't have any fastenings. It's really breathable and loose and comfortable. And sometimes that's exactly what you need in the summer. Just a casual, easy, throw on and go outfit. So the version that I have made that I'll share with you is actually a light, I think if memory serves, 9-ounce, 9.5 ounce bull denim. And this works really well for the summertime on its own, but also I get a lot of wear out of it layered over short and long sleeve shirts during other seasons as well. So I think that if you wanted to make a Clyde jumpsuit that was specifically hot weather, maybe make a linen version or a cotton linen blend or something like that. And that is something that I might do in the future just because they're so comfortable. But I think that this lighter weight denim version gives me a lot of use and versatility with this garment in my wardrobe throughout the year. So definitely another good pattern to consider for a summer sewing project. So those were 10 basic sewing patterns to build your handmade summer wardrobe with. I think that all of these patterns work really well together. It's a bit of a mini capsule that you could create using these patterns. And hopefully I gave you some inspiration or some ideas on projects that you might like to make this season. If you enjoyed today's video, please do hit that like and subscribe button below. It really helps out my channel. And let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a t-shirt comparison video. I think that might be a fun one to make. Also, let me know if you've made any of these patterns or if you have a summer sewing pattern that is your go-to every year. I would love to hear in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.